Hey there, guys. Coach Edwards here with lacrossegoalietips.com and lacrossegoalieuniversity.com. Welcome to another edition, and thank you for subscribing. As always, a couple of new subscribers this week. We've got new subscribers from Plano, Texas, Cary, North Carolina, New York, New York. So probably some dad that's working downtown and subscribed, and then is heading out to Long Island or New Jersey to coach a little bit. Thank you. Ipswich, Massachusetts. We've also got um, Great Falls, Montana, Calgary, Alberta, where I'm currently living, San Diego, California, and that's just a couple out of a bunch from this week. So listen, thank you for subscribing. Those are to the free emails here. If you're not a member of Lacrosse Goalie University, you're going to want to check that out. So I just was finished doing a video critique for one of our Lacrosse Goalie University members, and as always, it's an epic one. Listen, this was an interesting week for me. You've seen my Blue Jays lacrosse sweatshirt. This is not necessarily a Blue Jays lacrosse Hopkins fan here, although shout out to Holden Catoni, who is playing his senior year down there. I've known Holden and his family since he was very young. Actually trained Holden in my house when he was about, going on 14, maybe younger. But anyway, tough year for Hopkins, not what they were expecting, I'm sure. But anyway, kudos to them. But this is actually Blue Jays. If you go to bluejayslacrosse.com, this is actually a youth lacrosse program that I run up here in Calgary, Alberta, teaching kids the great game of field lacrosse, because box lacrosse is pretty popular up here. But anyway, I digress. So the question that came up today, I got an email from the goalie in Plano, Texas, who was asking me about how to stay kind of interested in the game when the play is in the other end of the field, right? It's, when we're in our crease and the play's on the other end, especially if your team's kind of kicking butt, it's hard to stay focused. And I know for myself, when I was young, I had that same problem. I'd be thinking of, whatever, my math homework or, the girl from math class. But it was hard to kind of stay interested. So one of the things that came up, and actually in the goalie critique that I did for today for our member from Lacrosse Goalie University, this came up because I noticed that the goalie who we were critiquing was not really getting ready until the ball was actually being shot. So sometimes goalies need to up their attention. And it's one thing as coaches for us to say, whatever, Jimmy, Sally, stay awake, right? But we're in a time now where kids are, if they've got smartphones in their pocket, they're constantly being distracted, or attracted is another way to look at it too. They're being attracted to all this cool stuff. And when the ball is down the other end, it's really hard to stay attracted to what's going on because they're used to a faster pace of play. So one of the things that I did when I was young was, first and foremost, I took it upon myself to be a valuable player, and meaning my stick skills were good. I got really good, making outlet passes. I could hit an attackman from my crease at the midfield stripe, kind of frozen rope. I really liked that. I relished that part of the game, and I got really good at it. But what I would do when the ball was in the other end of the field was I would leave the crease. I would go between the crease and the restraining line. How a lot of times when the ball's in the other end, the other team's attackmen are lined up across the midfield stripe, and our D are lined up with them. And so there's this big gap between like me and the rest of the field. So I would get up there. I would get out of the cage. I would get up to the restraining line, and it got to the point where if like, let's say our attackman was trying to pass to a midi and that passing over their head and it was coming in our end of the field, our D were taught to check the sticks of the attackman so the ball would roll through. I would run up, sometimes past the restraining line, get the loose ball. We'd all bust out, easy pass back to the middies or to the D and over, and the ball would be in the other zone. So it was really frustrating for our opponents, but it was also really empowering to us as a team. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was standing up at the restraining line and I was distracted, because when I got up to the restraining line, I was like, whoa, because at first my coaches were yelling at me like, Edwards, get back in the cage, right? But once people realized that my athletic ability, I could sprint back fast enough, I had good enough stick skills, I could be up there. So sometimes what's good for a goalie is to get out of that crease. Don't feel like you're trapped there. Like it's a crease to protect you when you have the ball and you've made a save. But when the rest of the game's going on, get out, be a value to your team, be another threat. I teach so many coaches that the goal is to not always have somebody in the crease. Right? If your goalie runs out of the crease with the ball, you're not trying to put a defender in there to protect the cage. No, you're all trying to clear the ball. So sometimes coaches can inhibit a goalie from having good attention by being fearful of what's going to happen. And, you may get burned once or twice, but it's a learning experience. Don't worry about it. So for this goalie, my advice was this: get out of the cage. When the ball's on the other end of the field, get up towards, go start halfway between the crease and the restraining line, and then maybe go up a little further, right? But get out there and be in the play, because it can feel really weird being all the way back there all by yourself. Okay, so that's one little small technique. So coaches, listen, empower your goalies to get out. Realize that yelling at your goalie and saying, pay attention, doesn't do it, right? You've got to understand that they are distracted now and they're used to a faster pace, and if the game is slow, your kids are going to start to nod off, right? They're going to start to, and that's to be expected. So you've got to create environments where your athletes can be interested. And then for athletes, you got to create environments for yourself to be interested. Put yourself in little pressure-packed situations where if your attention wanes, that you're going to get burned, right? So that's the deal, okay? So that's a great question, as most of the questions are. And if you got a question for me, do me a favor, email me at coachedwards@lacrossegoalietips.com. I'll hopefully answer it in another video for you, or I'll send you a quick email with a response back. And if you're not a member of Lacrosse Goalie University, why not? Right? Like I said, I just did a critique for one of our members, and I just put in a new video this week as well on we're critiquing a goal that was scored by Notre Dame on the Syracuse goalie Warren Hill. Some interesting footwork issues that I identified there, and hopefully they're a help for you and for our members. But so if you're not a member of Lacrosse Goalie University, check it out. It's the cheapest thing you could possibly do to improve your lacrosse game, all right, in the goalie position. I'm the only coach doing this, so I appreciate you taking the time for me, and you're going to see everything that I've got in store over there, okay? So if you like this video, share it, tweet it, pin it, Google Plus it, send it to a goalie or parent or coach who needs to hear it, and by all means, I'll see you next week. Cheers.